What is the Breath Master certification process and how it works? Okay, first let me tell you what a breath master is. Breath master is a person who has mastered the use of the breath in order to be able to master the process of life. That's one of our guiding principles. So let me get into um, the stages and phases and process of being a breath master and how the things that we learn in the breath master certification. First, we learn several principles. The foundational principle is that the breath is life. So in order to get more life in your body, we do breathing exercises to enhance that whole flow and process. Then there's the adhering breath to movement. In the moving meditations, i.e. yoga, tai chi, qigong, martial arts, um, and other physical activities, we follow the principle of linking the breath to movement. And that primary principle is when there's a contraction, that's pushing the air out, that's an exhalation. When there's expansion, we're pulling air in, that's inhalation. So a contractive movement, such as leaning forward, we would exhale. Expansive, leaning back, we would inhale. That's basic. And it expands beyond from there. We start with the breath master technique. The breath master technique uses a couple of different ancient techniques of tongue placement and then exhaling a certain way, known as the cleansing breath. So that'll be explained in the process. You can check out another video, one of my videos on that. I give that freely. That's one of the ways we encourage people to make them aware of the breath master process. So additional principles are, again, linking the breath to movement and acknowledging and the use of kinesthetics or kinesiology, the body's natural mechanical movements. So we flow with the breath with mechanical movement as we move through the course of the day. We segment those movements because, again, inhalation, expansion, exhalation, contraction. So as we move, we're doing several expansive and contractive movements within the flow of one particular movement, such as leaning forward, bending over, sitting down, getting up. So we add the breath to those movements in a segmented fashion, and that creates breath work. And another principle is doing this throughout the course of the day so that all of your daily flow can become moving meditation. This allows for you to really get into your spirit, which leads to another principle. That is that when we engage the breath, we get into our body so we can get out of our minds and into our spirit. Segmented movement. Okay, so our primary principle, the way we create breath work, is by changing three things. That is, changing the pace of the breath. Let me back that up. Changing the depth of the breath, so deep breathing. We do that several ways using sound and so on. Secondly, we change the pace of the breath. Slow rhythmic breath versus a fast-paced breath. Then we change the rhythm of the breath. And the rhythm goes by layering slow, fast, or just doing a nuanced movement of breath with the slow, fast at different paces in order to create a rhythmic flow. The process for becoming a breath master, depending upon which stage you want, how far you want to go, lasts from 6 strongs. I don't like to say week. That's another thing. I'm weird. And I acknowledge that words have power, We're breathing power and life into words. When we speak, we're expressing, we're exhaling, we're expressing. So we're creating with each word that comes out of our mouth. We're giving life to words. So when we say, what weekday is it? Think about that. Phonetically, week is week. It doesn't matter how you spell it, this word still is week. So if you're having a weak day, that is a day that has no strength. That is a day that you're losing life force. So we don't do weekdays, we do strong days. We don't do weeks, we do strongs. We don't do weekends, we don't want to end week. Because if you begin strong, you will end strong, or you won't end in a reasonable amount of time or in an unreasonable amount of time. So we had on Sunday, that's our day of our strong beginning. Then we go through our work days. Those are our strong days. And Saturday is the end of the strong. So that's another little quirky thing. So you want to hear words like that, expressions like that, where we're breathing life into a different types of terminology, acknowledging that even though a word may be spelled differently from another word, it's still the same word phonetically. Weak is weak. No matter how you change the spelling and contextualize it, weak is weak. So I apologize for that sidebar. But anyway, how does the process work? Okay, so we will have live sessions on Zoom that will be recorded. You will receive those recordings. You will be charged with reviewing those recordings and the lessons therein. You will also get additional individual videos of each particular lesson, because each time we get together, you're going to get several lessons, 3 to 4 or 5 lessons, as far as movement and breath and types of inhalation, exhalation, and so on. Then you will be charged with, by the 3rd or 4th day, recording yourself doing your practice and sending that in to me, so that by the 4th or 5th day, I can return to you or critique, and then you can begin to practice that between when you receive that and when we had come back for our subsequent meeting, which the subsequent meeting we'll do a slight review of the lessons before. And let me say that each strong lessons build upon each other. We lay a foundation, we build on that foundation until we get a firm practice. So you will be responsible for sending me those videos. I'll review them, sending them back to you. Then we will have our subsequent meeting. Now, after the first 2 sessions, we will have a 1 strong break. So this is a 6-week training. It typically, I give a little bit of leeway, and we go at your pace and what have you. I know life is happening. Unfortunately, a lot of people try to squeeze too much into a small time frame. So if you got a lot on your plate, you might not want to do this right now, because you really want to immerse yourself in this process. So I've had folks having 2 or 3 other types of training in this process, and sometimes it flows well, sometimes it doesn't. It's best that it flows well. And so the best option is to do this training while you are going through your regular flow, and not while you're in another training or extensive scenario that requires a whole lot of your time, and you can't find a way to devote the time to this process. So I caution that you give this its due. So for that purpose, after the first 2 times we get together, we're going to skip a strong and allow you to practice those lessons. And that's one of our principles also: practice. That's like, I think, the 6th principle. And then when we get back together, the 3rd strong, we'll get lessons, and then there'll be another strong break in between that, so that you can really hone in on and develop your practice. You will get a practice schedule suggestion for you to actually adhere to. And I would like for you to, you'll have a fill in the blank schedule for you to fill in your actual practice versus the practice that's suggested. Because a lot of times I may suggest a number of things that you may not be able to get in, or you might go beyond that. And I would like to see what your flow is like. So you would fill that out and you would send that back to me. Also, there will be quizzes, not a lot. And the quizzes, I will expect you to respond to the quiz before and send the quiz back to me as a document in an email before the next session so that I can review that and make sure that we're on track with the things that you ought to be learning. So then after those three strongs, we will have the final session. Depending upon how it winds up, we may have an additional session. Now, if you're moving on, that's for level one. Level one is for your own edification and awareness. Also, you can be able to support some of your friends, family, associates, and what have you with some breath work. Level two, okay, and also level one, if you just do level one, it's $597. If you do go on to level two, then that's $797 charge. No, $897. $897 charge. So 600 basically for the first level one, 900 for going to level two. That's not separate. That's 900 will get you from all of level one and all of level two. Now level two is very, very dynamic because I teach you how to teach others, basically how to guide others through the process based upon your experience, which is also why we really immerse you into your experiential process in this process. This is not or take notes and write it down and answer a test and get an A scenario. This is real life training, and it involves day-to-day movement and processes that have to do with maintaining this body and your spirit and your emotions. We share those things with others as we guide them as breath master instructors. So level two, you will get the title of breath master instructor. Now level two, after the 6 strongs of level one, we will go into level two. Now level two moves along at a faster clip because we may take one break in between rather than two. And the intention is for you to be able to be fluid and be consistent with guiding others. You will have to find someone to train. I will want to witness that training either as we're doing a Zoom chat and you bring those people on, at least 1 or 2 sessions, I want to see that. Also, you would practice teaching others and you would record yourself doing that and send me those videos or that video. So you don't have to have me looking over your shoulder while you're training someone else in order for me to witness that. You can record that and send it to me. And I would suggest strongly that you do that as much as possible. In between each session, maybe 2 sessions where you guide someone and record it. And I will send that to me. And like in level one, I will send that back to you so that you can have that to review as well, so that you can really get grounded in the process of training others. There's a lot of potential with this process. Level two, I'm starting to give out a bonus. That bonus is I will give you the blueprint of contract work in the stress management field so that you will be able to take what it is that you learn in this process and use it in the business arena to get contracts to help others in work environments, organizational situations, and so on, as well as, individualized training beyond just a typical breath master coaching session. And you will also be guided or given information on how to monetize, coaching sessions, $80 an hour, so on and so forth. So that's basically how this process works. There's level three. Level three, I haven't had anyone go through level three because level three is a scenario where I would watch you as you go through coaching sessions and so on and so forth over the course of 6 months to a year. depending upon how adept you are at coaching people, will determine whether or not you'll be able to actually at one day certify someone as a breath master. So this is a long-term goal, long-term situation, and it gets you higher paying clientele instead of 1 hour sessions and what have you. Talking about somebody who will be coming to you as you're coming to me, and you'll be able to charge as I'm charging in this scenario. So that greater monetization, greater fee. I haven't worked that out yet. Probably somewhere around $3,000. Maybe not so much. Maybe a little more. We'll find out as time goes on. So that's basically what the breath master process is like in becoming a breath master. So I'm gonna send this. So watch this video to the end. I should say that in there. Well, you will read that in the description and in the audio or whatever response I send you. So thank you so much for considering becoming a breath master. We are here to guide humanity to a better quality of life on this planet.